Millennium 7. The Chinese stealth bomber has arrived. Maybe. Let's see.
At the end of 2024, we had two new fighter jets, a new AWACS, and the launch of the Type 76 amphibious assault ship.
That is a lot of different developments at the same time. So, Chinese military production is production. It's producing production. It is going harder.
And now, a few days into 2025, we have this.
Oh, yeah. I saw like a part of this clip, I think. Damn, they are pushing.
This is allegedly footage of the first flight of the H-20, the Chinese stealth bomber.
Okay.
The H-20 has been in development for quite a few years now. In 2022, there were rumors of an imminent first flight, but then nothing happened. It was supposed to appear at the recent Zhuhai Air Show, but nothing happened. And now we have this short clip, which is everything we have at the moment of writing.
It is very interestingly shaped, though. I'm not sure how much, like, definitely has a lot of internal weapons bay carriage capacity, but comparable to American B2, I'm not sure how much. It looks a bit more slender.
First question is this legit or fake? Well, I am no expert, but I loaded the clip in DaVinci Resolve, which is the software I use for editing the videos, and I zoomed in as much as I could. I did not notice any strange artifacts that could make me think to computer graphics or anything like that.
Oh, right, that's also possible. But then again, computer graphics end up looking better and crisper and more contrasting than the real thing, almost always.
Probably sharpened by the phone camera, but otherwise it seems quite legit to me from this point of view. There are a couple of strange elements though. One is the single central contrail, as if the aircraft had only one engine, which seems bizarre for a relatively heavy bomber like the H-20 is expected to be.
Ooh, maybe it has multiple engines with like one exhaust. That could be it. But then again, I don't know how useful that is. Could be done for like heat management, infrared masking. But yeah, interesting that there's only one center contrail.
There is the chase aircraft. It may seem a J-16 or a J-11 at first sight, but the angle under which we see the chase and the bomber seem different. And also I can see no trace of the tail stinger. Even the silhouette as a whole is not entirely convincing. Moreover, there is another slightly different version of this video where the corner of a red building appears for a fraction of a second and the perspective is not entirely convincing. So I can't conclusively say whether the H-20 video is real or fake.
Interesting.
However, for the sake of this video, I am assuming that the clip is real just to analyze what we have seen.
Okay.
So what follows need to be taken with an excavator bucket of salt.
Interesting way of putting that.
The first element to notice is the size. An eyeball estimate is that it is twice as long and with twice the wingspan of the flanker. This is roughly consistent with the idea that the H-20 should be a long-range strategic bomber.
Okay.
The very fact that it is with a chase plane means that it is either the first or an early flight. So the aircraft is still in early testing and it may well take many years from now before the first unit is deployed. The other noteworthy element is it is not a flying wing. So there is a
All right, yeah. The Chinese bomber has like vertical surfaces on it. It was supposed to have surfaces which could transition from being vertical to like horizontal flat surfaces. But well, I don't know what they did for the actual production.
classic swept-back wing with a high aspect ratio, which is to be expected for an aircraft that is designed to cruise at high subsonic speed for long distances. I would not be surprised if this wing, bar the usual stealth implements, was more or less similar to the wing of an airliner. The wing sweep angle seems to vary, and the inner section is probably linked to the fuselage with an increasing sweep angle. In the middle, there is a well-defined fuselage, which is quite large. I do expect that the aircraft belly to be more or less flat and the fuselage to be squished a little bit with the engine intakes above it. To be honest, in October, a picture circulated on socials allegedly showing the HW
Hmm.
on the runway.
This could be very real, but this also feels very um kind of AI-ish. But the fact that, well, actually you never know. It could be real, it could be real with AI enhancement, it could be enhanced with like more Photoshop stuff done on top. Seems consistent till now with the video from the bottom perspective. Also, I'm very curious for this wide bulbous ball over here. That is very unlike stealth. It's very interesting. Those kind of surfaces aren't generally considered stealth. Those are considered like light bulb or like mirrors, like they'll reflect very nicely. Circular surfaces are just straight up flat surfaces, like spherical surfaces. And it's not even like your standard sphere where it's, your IRST infrared search and track kind of camera. This is more like ovular. So,
I can't say how legit this is, but it seems reasonable overall. With that came a picture of the aircraft in flight, so this would not be the first flight, which is more or less compatible with what we have seen in the video. The aircraft tail suggests a flat shape and two short and stubby V-tail surfaces, and this is probably a very shallow V,
hmm.
like shown in some speculative renders, which is quite puzzling. In the light of what we have recently seen with the so-called J-36, the Chinese are surely capable of building a tailless design. The two tail surfaces seem to be a large contributor to the aircraft radar signature, and you don't want this in a stealth bomber.
Maybe it's like they're not able to manage, or they decided to, from the start, go for a little bit more safer concept, where they decided not to go for a like complete flat design without any vertical surfaces for something that was that big. Because size also would change the ability to control flight, but shouldn't be that much of an issue in modern times with all the computer power that we have, especially for a country like China. So could be something they went for from the start, like from a precautionary standpoint.
So while the tail and silhouette seems compatible with a stealth geometry, the two surfaces are quite strange indeed. I have seen some animations on the internet in which the tail surfaces move from being horizontal to vertical,
Yeah.
but that would be an immense complication and a lot of extra weight on the
Yeah, I suppose so. That would be more complicated than just having a flat surface. Okay, yeah, that seems sensible. The only way it makes sense is if they have a fixed vertical surface, which does not transition to a complete horizontal aircraft.
tail for really questionable benefits, so I believe we can definitely exclude that. However, in general, this configuration doesn't seem to be particularly stealthy from behind, which is strange in itself, and
Hmm.
we need to see more and learn more about the aircraft to understand the reasons of this choice. To be
Hmm.
honest, I'm still puzzled by that single contrail. Could this be a large drone with a single engine rather than the bomber? I don't know.
Interesting.
Anyway, maybe this is all fake and this video is
Even
fake.
if it was a drone, that still doesn't change the single. Well, yeah, if it's a drone, it doesn't need to be anywhere near as fast. So then it could fly with one engine. Whereas if it was an aircraft, like a human occupied aircraft, that would be considered kind of heavily underpowered.
Nothing, which is pretty frustrating. However, this is not the end of Chinese
Yeah, it is
theater.
frustrating, but well, there's still more clearer images and videos to come out. Fun stuff to look forward to.
Content. There's plenty to talk about the other Chinese new systems,
Mm-hmm.
and we will do it in the following days. So stay tuned.
Gotcha. Amazing video. Explained it very well actually, from like a tiny little so-called quote-unquote leaked clip. Millennium 7. Good video. Please do give them a follow and like.